Finster Fest X. Learn more right after this.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome to Community Watch. Greg,
Doug.
you doing all right?
Oh, yes, brother.
Good.
Can't complain.
Good.
Well, I won't complain. Not now on the air.
Well, it's
Maybe later.
nice of you. Nice of
Yeah,
you to
yeah.
choose not to complain
On the
this
air.
time. On the air. Oh, good. We'll talk later.
We'll talk later.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're doing all right. It's warming up outside.
It is. It is.
Time for festivals.
And a festival I know that's very true and dear to your heart.
Yes, it is, and should be dear and true to your heart.
I went out there last year, not the festival, but I did go to
Well, you
Paradise
did.
Gardens.
So we're
Yeah.
talking about Finster Fest.
Yes.
Named for Howard Finster, folk artist and creator of Paradise Garden, which is in Chattooga County.
Chattooga County. The most prolific, I believe Jordan told me, most prolific folk artist. Yeah.
Incredibly prolific, incredibly prolific. And we'll talk about Paradise Garden and Finster Fest, but though you have lived other counties, you lived a significant part of your life in Chattooga County.
Yes, I did, and I still consider that home. I drive through there every once in a while, but I still
You
consider
don't slow
it home.
down much, but you drive to it.
But it's a great place. I mean, it's a quiet, it's Little House on the Prairie type place. It's just everybody knows everybody.
Well, the unique talent of Howard Finster is kind of at the center of what this fest is like. And of all of the festivals, art festivals, other kinds of festivals, this is truly unique. You will not go to anything like Finster Fest this year, even if you were trying to. You will not find anything as unique, as interesting. So you need to go this year.
Well, I'm saying you're trying to sell it real hard. I mean,
Well, we will be talking today about Finster Fest, which is coming up on Memorial Day weekend, and Paradise Garden, with our guests who will be joining us right after this. So please don't go away. We'll be back with a lot more.
My college offers classes that meet my educational and career goals.
with opportunities outside the classroom.
where the faculty know me by name.
My college can prepare me for my career.
I can earn an associate's degree and transfer credits toward my bachelor's.
My college is a state college within the university system of Georgia.
My college is affordable.
It's close to home.
My college has online opportunities.
It's where excellence begins.
We are
GHC, Georgia Highlands College.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We are thrilled to have with us today Mr. Seth Turner and also Mary Hardin Thornton. Welcome. And in your case, at least, welcome back. We weren't sure if you'd been on the show or not.
Well, I've been in the studio and I've been on a show, but I don't know if it was your show or if I just broke in here one night.
That's possible. That's possible. Well, Finster Fest is coming up soon, and we were discussing which one it was. And so we're thinking it's somewhere in the, that would be 27th? Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said you
read it?
I did, but I didn't mark the date, so, years.
We'll estimate it. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, but it is Howard's 100th birthday year.
That's right.
That's a number we can
all agree on.
Yeah.
So for...
No, but I'm going to charge y'all. Next year when we do this show,
we're going to need a number.
Yeah. Somebody out there knows.
Somebody
That's
knows.
right.
We'll get calls. We'll get calls. Who was Howard Finster? I mean, there may be a couple of people who have not heard of him.
Well, to me, I spent a good portion of time in Chattooga County as well, and you'd hear tale of it, from people. He was on Johnny Carson, or this, that, and the other. Or REM shot a video out there, and to a lot of people locally, he was a guy who would fix bikes and he was building a crazy garden in his backyard.
Yeah.
But to the world, he is probably the archetypal folk artist, as far as I've learned. And he, got inspired and painted 40,000 paintings.
Apparently started somewhat late in his life. It was not something he was doing until I want to say he was
60s.
almost 60, and he did tens of thousands of pieces, tens of thousands of pieces.
Yeah. I can remember I was friends with his grandson, and I was out there one night when I was a young teenager and was kind of oblivious to who he was, but he was literally up all night painting. Yeah, that's what he did. He would stay up all night painting and fighting them, and but he's
and unlike many folk artists, and his work has been, discover is a mild term. I mean, he's got pieces of a section actually at the High Museum in Atlanta.
Exactly.
He's got paintings all over the world. People who've bought his paintings, and many of them are quite valuable now. Quite valuable.
Oh, yeah.
So, and all of this from Chattooga County. So for people who've never been to Paradise Garden, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, Paradise Garden is a wonderful, magical place. You have to experience it. Glad you finally did.
You do.
And you can tell people about it, but it really is sort of a pilgrimage site, So you do hear about it. You hear about the mystique, and then you get there, and you're like, how? You just try to imagine doing this as an older person, and all the little details that he had. And to me, he's sort of the original recycler guy. Like he would find, and this is his famous quote, I took the pieces you threw away and put them together by night and day, washed by rain, dried by sun, 1,000,000 pieces all in one. And that is what his garden is, 1,000,000 pieces of local stuff, like there's things from the mills, and you're like, what is that? And it was the balls that would beat the denim, and and then the racks that would hold the yarn. So he's turned it into art. So it's kind of just, he's the original kind of folk art recycler, junk guy that turns stuff into art. And it's very inspiring to everyone. You see it and you see something, you think, I can do that, and you really kind of can't make it look as cool as he did, but it's really fun. He was very inspiring, and he was very kind. He was a minister for years and years and years, and for those of us that did get to meet him, he was always welcoming. And that, to me, now I look back as I have kids of my own, and I think, God, who would want to, welcome every teenager or whoever to their front door? And he did. He was truly just bigger than life. And his garden is what we're kind of charged to protect, the Paradise Garden. So it's nice. We're very fortunate that Chattooga County did purchase the land, and then the Paradise Garden Board gets to take care of all the stuff on it. So it's really interesting. So Finster Fest is a great way to support keeping this preserved for new people that discover him, or go to the High Museum, or go to a museum anywhere and think like, this is cool folk art, I like this, what's this all about? And come see the grandfather of it all here in Chattooga County, and you want to preserve it for them.
I've always told people that the experience I have at Paradise Garden is, in a way, it's like walking into a piece of art. You're not just looking at art. You are in it. And and it's an odd kind of feeling to be in this world, which has, as you described, it has it's remarkably unusual sculptures, and we have their pathways and buildings, and you know the folk art church,
yes.
Which is kind of the signature piece there that people recognize, but it's nearly impossible to describe accurately. You have to just experience it. Yeah.
I agree.
So Finsterfest is at least on one level, it's a way to earn money to help protect
preserve
the
buildings
garden
and the walkway, because you can't just hire a landscaper to come in and kind of pressure washes it. Like everything in there is something he created and has a little piece. So you have to be really careful when you're weeding, because there's a little marble with a piece of glass on it, and he put it. So everything's kind of in there. It's all art. So you do want to enjoy it and be a part of it, but it's all there, and you've got to take care of it. So yes.
and so. And it has to, you have to put some money into something like that to preserve it. But it's also a celebration of the kind of art that Howard Finster created.
He inspired a lot of people. We've got over 50 artists that are signed up to come and be at the Finsterfest Memorial Day weekend, and just the lineup is pretty impressive. And a lot of these people want to come back. Last year was sort of like a homecoming for them, because we moved it back to the garden, and so they really, really liked being at the garden. So it's just inspiring again for the artists to be there. So this is a great list of folks that a lot of them were inspired by him. A lot of them got to meet him, and he gave them their start. And it's pretty fun to be around those guys.
And the ones that aren't like that are sort of that ethos, though. You know, and,
sort of original perspective on the world.
This one lady said, Natalie Heath Flynn, she's an artist that says embroidery with attitude. So I don't know what that is, but I'm going to check that out. Yeah, that's going to be good. So those kinds of things.
I have to tell you, visiting for the first time last year, it was a lot to take in.
Yes.
I mean, it's really a lot, and I don't think you can go one time and really get it. I mean, you see it, you may see everything, but to really digest it and really reflect and think about what was going on or the story around that. Yeah, I mean, so it is. This is. I was just like, wow, and so and I was there several hours, but it was amazing how much art he had produced that we get to see. Not what's been lost or what's, I know some of the stuff was gone, but I was just overwhelmed. I'm like, man, this is kind of crazy. Like, I mean, you just kind of like, because you're in different time zones almost. It's like you just go from here to here, and it's like in between. It's like, and you just like I was like trying to figure it all out, but it's like, I don't think you can figure it out. I don't think it's meant to be figured out. It's just there.
I always describe it like a world-class gym that sprouted out of Pennville, Georgia. Right. It's a hard thing to.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh yeah, sure, but I just encourage everybody to, even if you can't make Finster Festival, which by far is the best time to come because of all the hubbub and all the extra stuff you get to do, but just take the kids out there, go enjoy it, tell a friend, and collectively we can preserve this thing, and it can inspire artists for. In perpetuity, hopefully.
Yeah. I can say, I was amazed I was looking at license plates and even accents. I was really surprised at the diversity of people that was there that clearly was not from there. And I talked to one couple and one family, and I forgot where they came from, but they had come from, it was several states, and they said they was going on vacation or something, but that was one of the stops that they was going to make, and I was just like, wow, I guess John really wasn't lying.
Well, also we have an Airbnb out there that we book up.
That's right.
In the Artist Cottage, which is
weddings. It's a destination wedding
which is
place.
super cool. But you look in the guest book, and people who come, it's literally from all over the world.
Wow.
So. You know, so people know. Not everybody around here necessarily knows, but people know. People know.
Well, we're coming up on a break. We'll talk much more about Howard Finster and Finster Fest right after this. So stay with us.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We're talking about Finster Fest, which is coming up Memorial Day weekend, and we're talking with Seth Turner and Mary Hardin Thornton about that event and about Paradise Garden, which if you have never visited, it is in Pennville, Chattooga County, which is...
It's where?
Pennville.
Pennville.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah, you said Pennville. I'm just... I'm from Chattooga. It's Pennville, okay?
I had to take lessons to say Armurchie for a long time. That took me a while. Pennville in Chattooga County, between Somerville and Tryon.
Yes.
If you hit the Walmart, you went too far.
You're right, but you can park at the Walmart, and we'll shuttle you in.
We'll shuttle you in.
To
Really?
the
For the
festival.
festival?
Yes, sir.
There's not a lot of parking at the...
No.
Yeah, so, yeah, we have a shuttle.
We have two.
Two
Yes,
shuttles?
Two.
Wow, that's great.
Neither of them are space, it turns out. I asked.
Too bad. That would fit in.
Yeah.
And one may or may not have air conditioning.
So it's you sort of roll the dice.
You got a 50-50 chance of melting into your seat. So.
But it's fun. It adds to the experience. So
And
yes,
what's the actual date and time?
it's Memorial Day weekend, May
So 2
27th
days.
and 28th. That's right. And the time we have this awesome poster.
If you
Where
see
can
those
see it
around
there?
town,
yes, there.
take
Wait,
notice.
am I doing it right there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, there it is.
There's Howard.
And then, so right here, little tiny, it says it's from 10 to 5 on Saturday and 11 to 5 on Sunday.
What's the cost?
It is $5. So it's
Whoa.
I know.
Wait a
I'm telling
minute.
you. $5 to get in.
Wait a minute. Now
Everybody's just $5.
You just said preservation. You don't. How you preserve anything
Listen,
with
we
$5?
had over 1,000 people that came in.
But still, for $5?
Yeah, I tell you, it'll be all right. And they'll come back and yeah.
You can be a patron if you like for $125.
Y'all need to have a basket out there too or something, because how do you walk through that for $5 and not being honest? Say, man, I need to help out.
We're gonna get you in the gift shop.
Oh,
yeah. we got other things.
You're gonna buy a T-shirt.
Point of purchase,
That's
right.
Yeah,
Hats.
yeah.
And we want to support our
to
artists as well. We hope people will
use their disposable income to
for the art.
And we have we'll have food vendors as well.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of the artists, this year James Schroeder came up with that idea to have everybody donate a piece of art, and they're going to have like a silent auction with that. So the incoming artists, so even if you necessarily can't afford one of the pieces, you can jump in there on that.
So,
but wait a minute. So I've never been to the festival. So describe it to me, because this is just not some little thing. It sounds like if you're having to shuttle people in.
Oh yeah.
1,000 people. That is a lot of people.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Oh.
It's busy. There will be 50 roughly artists.
Yes.
With booths. Some of them will be creating art while they're there. Some will be selling art. So all different kinds. A lot of folk artists are represented. So you'll see all different kinds of art. And they will be located all over the garden space. And there'll also be food vendors there.
Yes. Mosley's Barbecue.
Mosleys will be there.
So everybody's happy about that.
That's good. I'll be there.
And the Chattooga Garden Club making tomato sandwiches and pimento cheese sandwiches.
That alone.
That alone is just the reason to come.
Yeah, the tomato sandwich nugget.
Yes.
Yes. And there'll be music.
There will be music.
In fact, Seth, you were kind of the music guy.
Yeah. I fall into that role
So
sometimes. But,
tell us about the music.
Well, how about, let's just start with Howard was a banjo player.
Yes.
And he wrote and has several songs registered. You know, he wrote some gospel songs. He did that. But beyond that, when he was in the heat of building the garden, REM came to the garden. That's kind of one of the claim to fame, and they shot Radio Free Europe there. And you can Google it, and the garden's remarkably the same. But yeah, anyway. And then he also drew album cover for Talking Heads. So there's a tradition of music that goes along with what Howard was about, and we've done varying incarnations of music. You know, when we were in Somerville, we tried to throw a street party in Somerville, which is hard to do. And yeah. And then so we moved back to the garden, and when I was thinking about putting music together, there's just so many natural little places to put it. For instance, in the Little White Church is a nice place where you can seat 40 people, you know, and you could spill out into the side. There's that nice place over by the Mirror House. There's the long, you know, Wheelie Hall in the there's several real interesting places to play music.
We need to just list the venues.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up like 4 or 5 little. I'm just calling them cloisters, and then I've invited a bunch of musicians who are down with the ethos, and be it with their bands or individually, or you know, hopefully there'll be some collaborations. But we're just going to fill the garden with music. You know, like. Well, apparently I'll be there. The Strange is coming. Like,
excellent.
Yeah. And the Kamikaze Dolly and some of the Moon Crew. You know, Russell McClanahan may be there. Justin Brown, a Chattooga County, you know, guy. Vic Burgess, Austin from Ethos. Mullins and Muletide will be there, and Van and Graham, and some of the Barbaric Yawps, and this Elliot Eidelman, who Seth Ingram met on his film adventures and wanted to come up and play. So
really?
He had some good sounding stuff, so he's coming. Jeff Mosier, who he's kind of a Colonel Bruce person, and that's been around a lot lately, but he's played with Colonel Bruce and he was with him on Monday when all that craziness went down this past week, and he's one of the best banjo players in the Southeast, and he's going to come and pick some for us, and you know.
So it's a music festival.
Yeah. As much as we can do too. But it's just going to be nice, and hopefully just ambient in the different parts. So you'll be walking around, and beautiful original music should be echoing around as you're looking at beautiful original art.
Artwork, yeah.
So we're going with that.
And have some really good food too. I mean,
yeah. That's hard to beat. Now let's get back to this $5. Are you saying we're lowballing here?
Yes.
We need to rethink this.
I'm thinking you lowballing for all of that. Really, I'm sometimes amazed at how, as a society, what we will pay for, what we're so willing to pay for, but then some of the things that really have truly value, universal value, we sometimes have to lowball just to get people out. But $5. I mean, just for the garden itself, but the music and everything else. I mean, but that's just me.
Well, I would say for folks attending Finster Fest, they need to plan to spend some time there, because there's going to be so much to see aside from the garden itself. And I would really, I would recommend going to Finster Fest, of course, but then going back to the garden on an ordinary day where you can see it. Yeah, where you can focus on the garden itself, and
probably sit and talk with Donnie, get a little insight.
Talk with Donnie, who works there. So
a lot of people last year did come for 2 days, so that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
And you're talking about young artists, so this is kind of neat. I know y'all have a passion for young people and their development. So the art teachers at Darlington School took a field trip up there, and I said, hey, we need something for the art table for the kids. And so 5 of the students drew these little coloring sheets. I think they're so great.
How cool is
and
that?
so this one's, look at this cool eagle. Oh yeah. Awesome. And that's Howard. And so this is what we're talking about. This is the folk art church. So this is the thing that a lot of people identify with at the garden.
That might have been the church
I think
I'm talking about.
that might be it, or the mayor house and the giraffe. So
I think we missed the folk art church.
Did we miss the folk art? Let's go back and get that one.
So those were students?
These are 4th graders.
Wow.
How about that from Darlington? So it made an impression on them. So it is so important to, I mean, hand-eye stuff, having thoughts, being still, looking
I'm thinking a collaboration for a coloring book.
Isn't it great?
Your gift shop.
Yeah, so they're gonna.
We're gonna have to get Greg on the board here. He's got.
But they have some things like this that Howard actually did that you can buy just the black and white, so that they were sort of inspired by that to do it. So it's great. I mean, and you can do field trips up to the garden, and you know. We've had people do yoga classes up there. So.
Well, yeah, and if any art teachers, I was out canvassing downtown with this, and an art teacher, I believe she was from Cedartown, goes, "Do you mind if I get one of those? I want to take my students out there." Like, so I would just encourage any art teachers who might see this to give the garden a call and plan to take your kids out there.
I actually at last year's fest, I met a woman who had driven from West Virginia to Finster Fest. And I think she had seen our show.
What?
Yes, that's what it was.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Comcast didn't go quite that far, so she must have seen it online.
Oh my
I don't know. I don't know how she connected to it somehow, but
6 degrees. You know, we in there somewhere. We in there somewhere.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So that's a drive from West Virginia.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of festival it is. It's something that people come from all over to see, and I promise there is not anything like Finster Fest. There is nothing like it.
You know what you see? I'm trying to figure out my calendar. Because you keep making it sound like I just gotta go.
You got
to. It's a long weekend.
Just think of Memorial Day weekend. It's
That's
easy.
right.
We don't even have to think of the dates. It's just right before Memorial Day, and then
School's out when school will be out. You can just motor on up, and
I
it's
got a
so
big
much
family,
fun.
So y'all still gonna get me because I have a lot of kids. So
Right.
y'all still gonna
It's
get me.
$5. It's $5.
You don't know how many kids I have. But it just sounds like I could just imagine the excitement, you know, and then when you talk about music, and then you really talk about the art, because some of the art pieces are just amazing.
Unbelievable.
And it's, so.
I'm trying to see who else is here. A big draw is Michael Banks. He's amazing. And Missionary Mary Proctor, Peter Luce, C.M. Laster, Grace Kelly Laster, and Ruby. They were some of the original, you know, Howard Finster folks. Jim Shores, and these are all paintings and birdhouses and cutout metal, and it's pretty neat. Pottery, garden art. There's something that's going to tickle your fancy.
Big variety.
Big variety.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we're coming up on another break here. Stay with us. We'll give you all of the particulars you need to know about Finster Fest right after this.
My college offers classes that meet my educational and career goals.
With opportunities outside of the classroom.
Where the faculty know me by name.
My college can prepare me for my career.
I can earn an associate's degree and transfer credits to a bachelor's.
My college is a state college within the university system of Georgia.
My college offers courses that fit my schedule.
It's where excellence begins.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are GHC, Georgia Highlands College.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been talking about Finster Fest up in Pinville on Memorial Day weekend at Paradise Garden, a creation by Howard Finster. It's only $5 to get in to see some of the best artists anywhere. And great food, great music, a great time. So make plans to go to Pinville for Finster Fest. And the times are
10 to 5 on
10 to
Saturday.
5 on Saturday
And
11 to 5 on Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. You won't have another experience like it this year, this decade. So go to Finster Fest.
Yeah, a good way to kick off the summer.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.